Hey all, Matt here, showing off some Blu-rays that I've picked up over the last couple weeks. Some of them, actually just one of them was in my collection video that I made last week. And first off, thank you for everybody who watched it. Got some really good feedback. It was cool to get some new subscribers. Looking forward to adding the Blu-ray stuff to my vinyl stuff as well. And that stuff won't be going away for sure. But so I'm just gonna get into some shows some movies that I've picked up, and yeah, I'll try and talk about a few of them. First up is the Godfather collection. I actually just picked this up today. I went to Best Buy. I had ordered it online. It was on sale, I think, for President's Weekend. It was, I think, $22 for all three movies, and then I picked it up in store. It was free shipping. So I just got back, and everything is in one Blu-ray case. It has a nice slipcover, or I wouldn't even know if you would call this slipcover, like an outer cover or outer case. And then all three films are in one Blu-ray, and it comes with a nice little booklet, I guess talking briefly about each film and the features that it has as well. It says there's over 4 hours of additional content, which is one of the reasons I think one of the many reasons I like buying hard media, in this case Blu-rays, is for those special features. You get to see some stuff behind the scenes and whatnot that you don't get on Netflix or just ordering a digital copy. So a huge Godfather fan, huge Godfather 2 fan. Godfather 3, not as much, but it's not bad. The one issue I do have with the packaging is this book doesn't fit in either of the. You have to like kind of stuff it into here, and even then it doesn't really fit that well. And then trying to get the Blu-ray in as well kind of makes it a tough. I don't know. It doesn't fit right, and now it's tough to get the films out, and also pretty bare minimum on the packaging. I like the front quite a bit, but the back is just black. So I think they left a little bit to be desired there, but glad to have these in my collection. I think they're I think remastered, so I'm looking forward to seeing the quality on them. And again, the first two films are two of my favorite of all time, so really happy to have these in my library. Next up is The Big Lebowski. This is a steelbook that I got off Amazon. I think it was only $8. Stars Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi. The list goes on and on. John Turturro, just a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous role as a bowler in their league. Jesus, just laugh out loud. I watched this once it came in earlier this week. My wife watched it a little bit. She was in the living room while I watched it, and she was just like, "What is this?" She's not as into movies as I am, but yeah. For those, I guess, who don't know, Jeff Bridges plays the dude, and he gets mistaken for someone else with the same name of Lebowski. They pee on his rug, and when he's getting, I guess they're there to rough him up because the other Lebowski owes money to someone, and just this whole convoluted story, which it's just, like I said, just laugh out loud funny the whole way. Great performances. Jeff Bridges as Lebowski is iconic, and yeah, this is one, if you have not seen, you gotta go and check out. I don't think a review or talking about it can do it justice. John Goodman is hilarious as a Vietnam vet who just compares everything to Vietnam. Steve Buscemi is kind of just the third wheel of Lebowski's, and Donnie, Donnie is who Steve Buscemi plays. But he's kind of just the third reel with Bridges and Goodman. There's obviously the iconic line of "just shut the fuck up, Donnie." Just so much weird stuff in this movie, but it all works. It's from the Coen brothers. It's definitely I think maybe you could say a cult classic, but it is pretty popular. So I put it maybe beyond the cult term. Also, Tara Reid is in this, very young Tara Reid. She looked exquisite. This is probably maybe a year or so before American Pie, where she kind of really broke out. But yeah, just a ridiculous off-the-wall comedy that is one I would recommend to anybody to at least check out. It won't be for everybody, but it's one that I think everybody should check out. Midnight in Paris. This is one that I did show in my collection video, but it was, I think I had picked it up like the day before I did that video, so I'm going to include this in this one just so this rounds it out more. This is a really good Woody Allen film. I saw this in theater. Actually, my wife was bringing her up again. She was the one who wanted to see it. I don't even think I had heard of it, but we went and checked it out. I haven't seen it in a few years, so my memory of the actual storyline is a bit vague. But a really good cast: Adrian Brody, Owen Wilson, Marion Cotillard. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Kathy Bates. There's Rachel McAdams. It's just your normal Woody Allen comedy. It's good. It's one I would recommend to check out. There Will Be Blood. This is one I picked up on Amazon as well with The Big Lebowski. I watched Gangs of New York the other day, and I was just on a really big Daniel Day-Lewis kick, and this was the other one of my favorites that he's in. And this is one. This is another one I haven't seen in a few years, so I'm not going to totally get into the the plot, but it has to do with oil. The oil fields in the in the 1800s or so, and his performance is fantastic. He's an actor where anything he's in, I'll watch just for his performance. So and I got this on the cheap as well. So cheap Blu-ray is always good. He won Best Actor for it. Looking on the back, this came out in 2007. So he won Best Actor for this. I believe it was up for Best Picture. It's another one. I sound like a broken record, but if you haven't checked it out, it's worth checking out. Halloween. This is the 35th anniversary edition. This is my favorite horror flick of all time. It's to me, I think that it's funny. I watched a review the other day, and they pointed out some flaws, and I totally agree with it. But to me, this is still just a perfect movie. The acting isn't that great, aside from Donald Pleasance, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis was fine. Yeah, this is 1978 from John Carpenter. Obviously, everyone knows the story of Michael Myers. This is one that I just love watching during Halloween time. It just has like a cold feel to it. It feels like it takes place in the neighborhood that you grew up in, which I think is what I enjoy in horror the most, is when you can kind of feel like this is happening in my neighborhood. I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, but like movies like this do freak me out a little bit. Although not that I get nightmares from watching this, but just the whole setting of the first two Halloween movies were good. The last three, I think, is kind of the black sheep. I didn't think 4 and 5 were terrible, but clearly didn't live up to the first one. But this one also has some special features, which I was actually a little underwhelmed by. There's audio with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis, which is cool. I haven't listened to that yet, but there's like a featurette with Jamie Lee Curtis about going to like a horror convention, which I thought was kind of lame. A short 10-minute on location film that kind of took you back to where they shot the film, which was, I believe, in California. It was not in Haddonfield, I think Illinois or Indiana, but that was great, but it was only 10 minutes long, so I would have liked to see that flesh out more. There's just some trailers and TV spots and radio spots, so I was a little underwhelmed with that. I was kind of hoping for more special features for a 35th anniversary, but the film itself is worth owning, and I'm glad to have it. Boys in the Hood. This stars Cuba Gooding Jr., Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne, who's actually, oddly enough, is credited here as Larry Fishburne. I don't know if that's what he went by back then, and then has since gone to Lawrence. This is a fantastic film about 3 friends growing up in South Central Los Angeles in the late 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I think this came out in 91 or 92. So it just takes place, right around the time that there was, really the gangster rap scene of NWA and all that was really taking off at this point. It talks about the drug scene and just kind of trying to stay out of trouble, and 3 guys kind of growing up together, but also kind of having their, I guess, I wouldn't say dreams, but their aspirations kind of going in separate ways. They're all still good guys, but Ice Cube's character kind of leans more towards the streets, and this guy, who I'm not sure, I can't remember his name in the movie, Ricky, and he's a he has plans to play football. Even as a kid, he always has his football with him. And then Cuba Gooding Jr. His dad, Lawrence Fishburne, is kind of his role model. It's really good. If you It's one that I think has been considered one of the better movies of the '90s. It's one of those seminal films of, I guess, the black experience from that time period. Really great performances throughout, and one that I think I picked it up for like $5, so I was really happy to have this one. And lastly, kind of a fun one. This is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. This was again in a bargain bin with Boys in the Hood, which was weird. I was surprised to find that one, but this one, I couldn't pass this up. Seeing it, this is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. It's actually a film that I think has held up pretty well. I don't know what critics have said about it on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and whatnot, but this is one, the Turtles were really geared towards children, but this movie is one that I think adults can enjoy, and it's actually one I enjoy as an adult. I'm 28, so it's one I can still enjoy popping in from time to time. Now, I don't know if that's just because of nostalgia. It could be, but it's one that I think it's one of those movies that you wouldn't be made today for children. I have not seen the new TMNT movies. I don't plan on watching them. I haven't heard great things, but this one and even the second one from this time period were pretty good. But this one I think still holds up pretty well, and yeah, it was for the price. I was happy to have it in my collection. And that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I love talking about movies and just hearing what people are watching and getting suggestions. So really, that's the biggest thing for me. It's just kind of, if you see something, or if you've seen something and you let me know in the comments below that I should check it out. I love getting recommendations. And I'll be doing videos again, just kind of talking about movies that I've seen and just going over them like I did here. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. And if you enjoyed it, I hope you can subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.